What's up, everybody? It's your boy Don Grimm. I want to talk about this bullshit people calling Maga a cult. It's just really irritating. I mean, for anybody who actually knows what the fuck a real cult is, you'd find it laughable. But because it is a demonizing word that the left can use against Trump and his followers, then of course they're gonna say that. They're gonna do that. They'll use anything. There's nothing below these people. They have no fucking shame. No fucking shame. You know what? Let's take the word. Look at the word cult. I actually brought it up here. Noun: a system of religious veneration and devotion directed toward a particular figure or object, as in the cult of Saint Olaf. Okay. System. I mean, there's no system to it. It's just he was doing all the right things. He was clearly a better president than Biden could ever be. At the time, he was one of two choices, and of course, if you back the person that's already proven they're the better choice, then you're going to cheer them on. That's basically what people were doing. I wouldn't call it a cult. Let's take a look at the rest of the definition, though. A relatively small group of people having religious beliefs or practices regarded by others as strange or sinister. Strange or sinister? You want to talk about strange or sinister? Take a look at Sleepy Sniffy Joe. Take a look at his family, all the dirty dealings they've been in, all the corruption in that family, all the fucking illegal money that they've made off of their political ties. $40 million in an illegal investigation on Trump, and they couldn't find shit. Nothing sinister there, obviously, if they couldn't find shit. And don't give me that, well, he's the president, they couldn't do anything about it. Bullshit. They conducted the illegal investigation, didn't they? If they would have gotten anything out of it, they would have used it. Hillary has a lot of fucking power, and she's the one that called for it. So yeah, don't give me that crap. And last part of this definition here: a misplaced or excessive admiration for a particular person or thing. Okay, it says misplaced. I don't think that's misplaced. Like I said, he was one of two choices. And as long as you don't go with the wrong one, which is Biden, then you're going with the right one, which is Trump. That's not misplaced. And it says excessive admiration. I wouldn't call it excessive, but even if it was, so what? There's nothing wrong with that, for people showing their support for a man that did such great things for our fucking country. I mean, you wanna call yourself a patriot, take a look at what he actually fucking did instead of listening to the fucking mainstream media, because they're not going to tell you the shit. They're going to fucking lie about all of it. They already have been lying about all of it. They lie about Trump, and they have nothing to back anything that they fucking say. That's why they just keep on repeating the same lines, the same shit. They don't have anything good to say about anything because their whole fucking lives now are based on let's fucking bash Trump. Well, anyways. So, one of the tactics they used a lot was because this plan was put into progress way before Trump was even in office. Once he came around and they realized that he wasn't going to play ball with them the way they wanted him to, because he's not a fucking politician. He's not going to, he's not going to take their bait. He's not going to be swayed by their money. Once they realized all this, they did everything they could to try to discredit him or just slam him and smear him and slander him. And I mean, everything they could do, from calling him a racist to calling him a dirty businessman. And look how many businesses he has that were bankrupt. And, okay, all this stuff they're doing, throwing at him, is all stuff that could very easily and justifiably be thrown at the entire Biden administration. Every last bit of it. But because they were the first ones to cast the stones, anybody else who tries to turn it around on them, they're going to say, oh, look, see what they're trying to do? They're trying to turn it on us now. Yeah, playground tactics. But they still work. Yeah. And speaking of tactics, some of the political tactics, like, for example, that rap smear that Pelosi outlined. She tried to say that Trump was using this tactic, and I'll explain to you this just wasn't true. I'll explain afterwards, after I describe it to you. I don't know if you saw it or not, so here goes. Basically, what she was saying was that they will make a claim about something, like Trump, for example, and then they will wait on the news to report on this claim. And because everybody believes the news, they all got their fucking heads shoved up their own asses, and they believe everything the fucking mainstream media says. The left can turn around and looks, oh, well, look, the news reported on it, it must be true. Even though they were the origin of it themselves, and the reporting was only being done on what they said, not whether it was true or not. But because the news reported on it, they're using that and saying, well, it must be true if the news said it. Rap smear. They're saying that Trump used this tactic. It requires the support of mainstream media in order to be able to do that. Who had support from mainstream media? The left. Who didn't? Trump. So if it requires their support, then how could they possibly claim that Trump was doing this? It was them, obviously. I was just intrigued by that. Anyways, the left has people so riled up that, that they run around, attacking and belittling and verbally and physically bashing Trump supporters, threatening. Everyone gets threats. You see all the time. I wish I would run into a Trump supporter. I'll whoop a motherfucker's ass. Hear it all the damn time. Seen so many videos where people, that support Biden and the left, attack people on the right. I mean, the worst one I saw, the most despicable shit I saw. I mean, we saw the one where the guy got cracked in the head with some brass knuckles. That was pathetic. But the worst I saw was when that chick, she was like mid-20s or whatever, stole a little boy's hat, a MAGA hat, stole it from him. And the mother was trying to say, give my son his hat back. And then the bitch is like spitting on the hat, fucking rolling around, stepping on it and shit, picks it up and throws it in the fucking dumpster and all that. That's the mentality of the left. Pick on a little boy. Pick on a little boy. I mean, that is ridiculous. I mean, that's fucking pathetic. It's disgusting. Oh, my God. And then they go and take the good things that people say and they edit these videos and take it all out of context. The whole find people on both sides when Trump was accused of saying that neo-Nazis and white nationalists were fine people when he wasn't even talking about them, because when somebody else asked him afterwards, well, are you saying those are very fine people, white nationalists and neo-Nazis? And he said, no, I don't agree with them. Those people should be condemned. I don't support their views or racist stuff. Should all be condemned. Well, who are you talking about then? He was like the day before, the people who were peacefully protesting with, the permits to be able to protest, who were eventually attacked by people on the left. I'm pretty sure you can count those people that were there quietly and peacefully protesting with their permits to do so as being very fine people, because they weren't breaking the law and they weren't doing anything wrong. So yeah, but they twisted the whole thing into making it sound like Trump said that white nationalists and KKK and neo-Nazis and all these Aryan motherfuckers were very fine people. That's what they've been doing since the beginning with every fucking thing he says. And it is bullshit. And they want to go and call MAGA a cult? The left is using all the cult tactics. I mean, they're even calling patriotism dangerous. Patriotism, the love of the country, for fuck's sake, the love of the... they were trying to get parents to stop allowing their kids to wear anything with an American flag on it, American pins, anything with like shirts with American flags on them or anything like that. They had to take down American flags in the classroom. No longer saying the pledge. I mean, what the fuck is that? That is anti-American, and Trump happens to love America, so of course, he's a bad man because he's a patriot. how fucking backwards can shit get? I mean, that's just, God, it's so fucking ridiculous. I mean, these are the same people that were cheering and encouraging, the riots over the summer. That they're saying that 93% of them of these protests were peaceful, but then you had people that were supposedly our leaders that are cheering them on and say, "Oh, of course that they should do more. They just not, and they shouldn't let up. They should keep pushing." And Pelosi herself, I don't know why there isn't more civil unrest. Maybe there will be. That's the Chaz, the Capitol Hill autonomous zone. There were people calling that the summer of love. What was the mayor of Seattle, whatever it was, called it the summer of love? Like, what are you fucking kidding me? I mean, there's people that can't even get to and from their homes. Women getting raped. People getting assaulted and just battered in the fucking streets. How many people died there? But this is the summer of love. Let's just keep the police out of it. These people that are calling for defunding of the police. Same motherfuckers. But as soon as something happens where, they feel threatened, of course they call the police. Hypocrites. Fucking. And they all have socialist and Marxist beliefs. They all lean toward that socialist side of things. Which is why they tell their followers anybody that disagrees with them should be re-educated. And they've threatened to take people's children from them to send them to camps for re-education. What kind of twisted shit is that? And a cult leader will censor anything or keep any outside information from getting to his cult. Trump didn't do that. The left did that. I'm still doing it. Everyone on the left is all about, if they don't like what you have to say, you're shut down, you're censored, you're a threat. And yes, they're literally calling people on the right or anywhere right of center at all a threat to national security. It's ridiculous. I mean, they're pushing basically for the second coming of Hitler here, and they're calling Trump a fucking cult leader? People that believe that are ignorant as fuck. Ignorant. Just plain old-fashioned, uneducated on the topic. You need to open your fucking eyes. Really, wake the fuck up. That's all I gotta say about that. That's all I gotta say about that. Yeah. Deuces.